Fast, accurate. You're watching WSBT 22 News at 11.
Breaking news tonight out of Berrien County. Michigan State Police are investigating after a body was pulled from the Paw Paw River in Coloma. We first told you at 10, a state trooper told us the FBI would be involved, but police have since corrected that, saying the FBI will not be involved. WSBT 22's Max Lewis is live at the scene now. And Max, what can you tell us? Max, thank you. And more breaking news out of California. An active shooter was reported at a food festival. Few details are available right now, but we are told that there were casualties. Initial reports say 11 people were down after shots rang out. This was the last day of the Gilroy Garlic Festival. The number of people hit by gunfire in South Bend is up 40% compared to last year at this time. Our partners at the South Bend Tribune report through Thursday of last week, 63 people had been hit by gunfire this year. That's compared to 45 over the same period in 2018. Police say the number of actual shootings has stayed flat, but incidents that involve multiple victims led to this spike. 2 people were shot. One is dead after 2 separate shootings early this morning in Niles. One happened at an apartment complex in Niles Township, the other at a house party in Howard Township. 18-year-old Damon Chapman was killed at that house party. WSBT 22's Max Lewis dug into this story earlier today, and he has the story. That was Max Lewis reporting, and so far police have spoken with 9 witnesses but say there are more people they need to speak to. The Berrien County Sheriff's Office is also still investigating the shooting on Woods Edge Drive. If you have any information on either of those shootings, you're asked to call police. A woman convicted of telling her daughter to make a false report about sexual abuse has failed to persuade the Michigan Supreme Court to take the case. New at 11, Shay Mullins was accused of coercing her daughter to tell a teacher she was abused by her father. A trial witness said Mullins had offered to buy the girl a new horse. Mullins was sentenced to a week in jail. Responders were back on scene today of a fire that first ignited Friday. It was at the Fun FX warehouse on Sample Street in South Bend. Firefighters were called back after getting a call the blaze was rekindling. Chapin and Webster Streets were blocked off while crews responded. The Muncie Police Department is working to build its relationship with the community, starting with kids. Instead of thinking they're the bad guys, officers wanted to show off their fun side by hosting a water balloon fight. The event featured more than 100 kids and 10,000 water balloons. Plus, the highlight of the day, a 180-foot slip and slide. The officers wanted to build relationships by being positive role models and keeping the kids off the streets.
The little kids you're not so worried about, but the 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds, I mean, what else might they be doing? You don't know.
Winkle says if you miss the water balloon fight, you'll have to wait for their snowball fight. Dan Coats will step down as Director of National Intelligence on August 15th. President Trump announced this today via Twitter. President Trump will nominate Texas Republican Representative John Ratcliffe to replace Coats. Ratcliffe aggressively questioned Special Counsel Robert Mueller last week when he testified about his report on Russian interference. Senator Todd Young released a statement reacting to Dan Coats resigning. He says, quote, throughout his many years of service in both the House and Senate as a U.S. ambassador to Germany and as Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coats has made Indiana proud. He went on to say America is better and more secure thanks to his tireless service. On behalf of all Hoosiers, I thank Director Coats for his devotion to duty, end quote. U.S. Representative Jackie Walorski also released a statement today on Coats' resignation. She says, quote, throughout his life in public service, Dan Coats has always put the interests of his country and his fellow Hoosiers first. I am grateful for Dan's steadfast leadership in keeping our nation safe and secure, and for his years of dedicated service to the American people. President Trump started his Sunday with new tweets aimed at Democratic Congressman Elijah Cummings and his home district in Baltimore. New at 11 so far, Republicans have mostly been silent, but the response from many others, including the Baltimore Sun, has been scathing. Nicole Killian reports. Up next, an Arkansas mom makes a difference for kids in her daughter's class with a simple trip to the shoe store.
You're watching WSBT 22 News at 11.
New at 11, what started as a simple trip to the store with her children has turned into something much bigger for an Arkansas mom and her family. Janet Shyamalan has the story.
As we move into the first good chunk of August, there are no huge indicators of major heat. And by that, I'm talking like days and days of 90 plus. Several days in the 80s still to come, many, many days in the 70s. Yeah. But at least for the first chunk of August, nothing that would scream major heat. It looks pretty dry as well. So keep the sprinklers going, the irrigation equipment going. Overall, though, I mean, as
Yeah.
football practice starts, I know band practice starts, usually you're in the 90s. That is as good as it gets
Pretty
around
nice.
here.
So wet Monday and then smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing, you got it.
Thanks so much, Matt. Well, it was a big recruiting weekend for local high school hoops standouts. Adam will have details on which prospects are heading where next.
A record on the senior tour. It seems like everybody else is getting older, but Bernhard doesn't seem to. I mean, he just keeps winning every year.
Well, and he had his warm-up here in South Bend.
Yeah, that's right. He was here at the U.S. Senior Open Championship and didn't play as well, but clearly shook some things out and went over the
worked out
pond.
the kinks.
Yep.
Thanks so
won
much,
it.
Adam. Matt's forecast is up next. All right, we've got a pretty beautiful week ahead.
Yeah, yep. Got some thunderstorms tomorrow. Temperatures near 80, and then we're in the upper 70s to 80s the rest of the week, and it's the following weekend. Overnight lows in the 50s and 60s. Low humidity as well, so just a spectacular way to close July and, believe it or not, kick off August on Thursday.
And before we know it, kids are going to be back in school. I know they don't want to hear that, but
Yep. Some Indiana districts, I don't think any local. Some of them, though, start tomorrow. So
my goodness
Oh my
gracious.
gosh, really?
Back to
I know
school.
some downstate.
Perfect weather to sit in class.
Yeah, no
right.
distractions at all there.
Well, our next news is tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock. We hope you have a great night. Thanks for watching.